and welcome to Steps in the Storm. You might notice something a little different this morning, and that I'm actually driving to church, and so I'm not sitting still, but I still am in my truck. I just had some things on my mind this morning and that I wanted to talk about, but I don't really have anything scripted, so we're going to fly by the cuff a little bit. When I was younger, I used to live by a philosophy that basically what I wanted to achieve was I did not ever want to get old and reach the point where my life was coming to an end and I had regrets that I didn't do things. And I wanted to do everything that I had a desire to do so I would not live with any regrets. And I attempted to do this, and for a long time I followed whims and everything I was interested in doing, looking for pleasures and entertainment in whatever I could find or whatever got my interest at the time. I spent a lot of money, got into a lot of things, did a lot of things I wasn't supposed to do. And then I came to realize when I started getting a little older that there's no such thing as living a life without regrets. Everything you do in life is going to cost you something. Either one way or another, you're going to have to pay for it. If you choose to go one direction, then you're not choosing to go a different direction, and you're going to miss whatever opportunities or adventures or whatever you want to call it may have been down the other path that you chose not to follow. So there's no way around it. You're making choices whenever you choose to do something, and the opposite of what the choice that you made is, it's going to be a regret. It's going to turn into a regret because you're not going to know, and you later in life you may find out that I should have done this or I should have done that instead of spending all my time and effort on something that was trivial and not gaining me anything. I could have done this or I could have done that instead. So the point being is that there's no such thing as living a life without regret. We have to live each moment in the best way we can and make the choices that we can. And the things that we do, we need to consider how they might affect our future. We never know the consequences of our actions, but we must realize that there are consequences to every single thing we do. And when we make choices, we need to make choices with this in the back of our mind and attempt to choose the wiser path of the choices that are presented before us. We don't need to go through life thinking of ourselves only, because in essence that's what this is. When we choose to attempt to live a life without regret, it is basically a selfish thing and thinking only of ourselves because we don't consider the others around us. So I know this is pretty deep, and I'm driving and it's kind of meandering in different places. But we just have to focus on our choices and what path we choose to follow. I know possibly some of us listening aren't Christians, but if you are, then this needs to be one of the driving factors in helping us make our decisions. if we're not a Christian, then we don't have the necessary moral code or spiritual law that we need to try and follow. We haven't gained that in our lives yet, but we still need to think about others and not just ourselves. Even if we're single, things we do now are going to affect us in the future. And paths that we follow now, we may think, oh, it doesn't hurt anybody. It's not going to affect anybody because I live alone. But the things we do now have consequences that appear later in life. And this is what I'm talking about, is actions we take now affect our futures in one way or another, and often in ways we don't anticipate. So if we make the best choices we can while in the here and now, then we can have a reasonable hope that the consequences of that choice will not be as significant as it might have been otherwise. For example, I used to be into sailing when I was younger, sailboats, and I let this consume my life for a long time. From the moment I woke till the morning, till the time I got up, I thought about boats. When I was working, I was thinking about what I was going to buy next for the boat, how I was going to make this change and make that change. And I spent a lot of money, a really lot of money, for a lot of years. And there's so much that I could have done differently with that money. Now I'm not into sailing anymore. I outgrew that phase, and but it cost me a lot. It cost me a lot financially. It cost me a lot with my family, because I wasn't giving them the time. I was devoting it to my personal desires and hobbies as opposed to what they needed from me. And the money that I spent took away from the family and could have been used for many different things to improve our life or invest in the future. So for 10 or 12 years, this hobby consumed me, and I've got nothing to show for it now. It consumed my life, it consumed my thoughts, it consumed my actions, and as it turned out, the choice I made to do things that would allow me to live without having any regrets turned out to be one of the bigger regrets that I have in my life, and that I made choices to do things that weren't really wise. Period. I don't know what the ultimate point is here, except that we have to focus on our decisions, and we have to look closely at the things we're choosing in life and anticipate what the potential outcomes of those choices might be. And with that, I'm going to come to a close, because I'm coming into some traffic areas here where I need to pay more attention. But it's just a thought I had this morning that I wanted to share with you, and some things about choices in life. And if you like this channel, take a moment and hit the like and subscribe buttons. And I look forward to seeing you here for future broadcast on Steps in the Storm. Thank you. Have a good day.